Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, Talo Oil announces start of fresh drillings on Jubilee Field, a move expected to boost production and increase government's revenue from that sector. Also coming up, President John Mahama attributes recent cedi appreciation to prudent policy decisions by the government.
The Ghanaian cedi, which depreciated by 19.2% in 2024, has shown signs of recovery, appreciating by 3.9% against the US dollar by the end of April 2025.
We've got more from the 2025 Ghana EU Business Forum in Accra ahead. Also, 15% transport fare cut set to ease cost of living and doing business starting next week. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. First up, oil exploration firm Talo has announced that it has commenced fresh drilling operations on the Jubilee field. The move, which is part of Talo's 2-year program aimed at boosting oil production from the Jubilee area, will increase government's revenue from the sector. Here's more in the following report.
According to Talo Oil, the upcoming campaign will be rolled out in phases beginning in May 2025, with additional activity scheduled for November and extending into 2026. It argues that we're building on previous high-performance records, taking drilling management to new heights throughout the project. The exploration firm in the notice added that this new campaign follows the completion of previous drilling program, which ended in December 2024. This, Talo says, delivered 18 new wells, 6 months ahead of schedule, and it was below budget. The earlier campaign noted that the managing director of Talo Oil Ghana, Jean Madama, has also stated that this move shows that Talo Oil remains confident in Ghana's resource base. The announcement by Talo Oil is coming at a time that production from the country's oil fields have been declining over the past month. Therefore, for some, this should come as good news for stakeholders and even government.
Now, President John Mahama has underscored the importance of enhanced trade relations between Ghana and the European Union, describing it as a critical step toward deeper economic cooperation. Speaking at the 2025 Ghana EU Business Forum in Accra, the president noted that the EU remains one of Ghana's key trading partners, with imports from Ghana totaling approximately $3.25 billion in recent figures.
A world order that is changing from multilateral rules-based systems to unilateral and transactional relationships, we are proud of our partnership with the European Union. Our trade relationship with the European Union remains robust and mutually beneficial. According to the United Nations Comtrade database on international trade, in 2024, the EU imported approximately $3.25 billion worth of goods from Ghana and exported a total of $3.65 billion worth of goods to Ghana. It is worth mentioning overall that Ghana's total exports in 2024 reached a high of 294.9 billion Ghana cedis, which approximately stands at 20.4 billion US dollars. And Ghana recorded a trade surplus overall of 44.7 billion Ghana cedis. 3 commodities accounted for over 82% of our total exports: And these are gold at 163 billion Ghana cedis, mineral fuels and oil at 54.2 billion Ghana cedis, and cocoa and other related products at 28.6 billion Ghana cedis. In the first quarter of 2025, we've already recorded a 13% increase in non-traditional exports, such as processed foods, textiles, and shea butter, reflecting the positive impact of governments-backed industrial policies and renewed market access to the EU.
President Mahama has attributed the recent appreciation of the cedi to prudent policy decisions by the government.
The Ghanaian cedi, which depreciated by 19.2% in 2024, has shown signs of recovery, appreciating by 3.9% against the US dollar by the end of April 2025. This has been supported by stronger forex inflows, improved trade balances, and growing investor confidence. Our gross international reserves have improved further from $8.98 billion in December 2024 to $10.6 billion by April 2025. This is equivalent to almost 5 months of import cover. This reflects enhanced export earnings, particularly from gold and non-traditional exports, as well as timely disbursements from our multilateral partners. Fiscal consolidation is underway. We reduced the fiscal deficit on commitment basis from 7.5% of GDP in 2024 to 6.4% in the first half of 2025. And we're on track to meet our 2025 target end year of 3.1% through expenditure rationalization, improved domestic revenue mobilization, and strong anti-corruption measures. These figures, though early in the year, are clear signs of a disciplined and inclusive economic recovery.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has assured that it remains committed to reviewing the cash reserve ratio for commercial banks. In 2024, the central bank implemented monetary measures that required banks to hold a significant portion of their deposits, including foreign currency accounts, with the regulator. The move has impacted lending activities and increased the cost of holding foreign currencies. Dr. Mumini Zachary, First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, explains further.
Well, policy is not a static, event. It's a dynamic one, and we look at the numbers at all times to take one decision or the other. The assurance, though, is that we are looking at the numbers again, and if it becomes necessary that some adjustments are made, those will be made. But let me add quickly that with the current trajectory of the developments on the foreign exchange market, it's even better for them, requiring them to keep for the reserves in cedis. So what it means is that with the cedi appreciating, they are actually required to back the foreign currency deposits they have with less and less cedis. So in this particular case, I'm sure you will not get anyone, really complain. But we are looking at the numbers, and if the numbers, show that there should be any adjustments, why not? We will not hesitate at all.
12% inflation end of the year. There are some who are saying that it is quite an ambitious target. How do you respond to those who say that, yes, because if I look at the data from the IMF, the World Bank, and all these external institutions, they are more moderate to their projections. What do you tell those who are saying that it's too ambitious?
I don't see it exactly as being too ambitious. It is something that is within reach, perhaps even better. If you look at, again, what is happening, currently on our markets, that just, gives, you would have also seen our policy stance again. I keep mentioning this, and it's all linked. Now, aside that, you will also see that there are also some steps that are being taken to deal with the food side of it.
Now, Ghanaians could see a significant reduction in the cost of living and doing business starting next week, as the Ghana Private Road Transport Union has agreed to cut transport fares by 15% effective this Saturday. George Afe has more in the following report.
The Ghana Private Road Transport Union, at a meeting with their members yesterday morning, agreed to reduce fares by 15%. General Secretary of the union, Godfred Bobore, told Joy Business that they agreed on this margin of reduction before going to brief the Transport Minister about this development yesterday afternoon. So if these unionized transport operators do go ahead to reduce fares as announced, that could bring some relief to businesses and individuals. This is because for a lot of individuals, their transport budget constitutes one of their biggest spending items. We should also not forget about how this development could also impact positively on the marginal reduction in prices of some food items on the market, and how that could also go a long way to slow inflation in the coming months. For businesses, it could help in reducing their cost of transporting goods to their factories, and how that could also affect their budget going forward. We should also not forget about the reduction in prices of petroleum products, and how that could impact positively on the cost of doing business in the country.
Now, the newly appointed chairman of the reconstituted board of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Duanani Entry, has described his appointment as part of efforts to implement the reforms outlined in the Securities Industry Act 2016. He shared this in a personal note sent to Joy Business following the board's inauguration.
Dr. Edu Anani Enchi, in this statement, noted that since he retired from the Securities and Exchange Commission as the Director General in December 2016, it has been his desire to go back to the Commission as the board chair to help with a lot of things at the Commission. He also cites the fact that he was involved in the drafting of the Securities and Industry Bill as a consultant before becoming a Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Dr. Duanani Enchi added that in January 2021, after 4 years of his retirement, when the board was going to be reconstituted, he wrote to the then Minister of Finance expressing his desire and availability to serve as chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission Board, but he didn't get any response then. On 30th of January this year, he sent a similar letter to the current Minister of Finance. On 7th May 2025, he says he got a call from the minister's office requesting his CV, which he sent. Last Friday, Dr. Duanani Enchi says he got a call from the minister's office to be at the Ministry of Finance. That was Monday 19th, 2025. That was yesterday for the inauguration of the board at 1:30 p.m.
And that's the marketplace. We are taking a short break. When we come back, we have some more for you. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the marketplace and to the exchange. Now, as the city continues to gain strength against major foreign currencies, some businesses are slashing prices to attract consumers and outpace rivals. But with competition heating up and warnings from analysts that the appreciation may be short-lived, how should businesses refine their marketing strategies to stay ahead? Well, on the exchange, I'm joined by branding and marketing expert Dr. Ike Abdulhamid to unpack the opportunities and risks in this evolving landscape. Hello to you. Good to see you. I've got plenty of questions to ask, so I'm going to start with this one. How should businesses adjust their marketing strategies in response to the appreciation of the cedi?
Greetings to all watching or listening to us this afternoon. I hope you can hear me, Darrell.
Loud and clear.
Thank you so much. Indeed, I think we need to all agree that, yes, the cedi is appreciating, and it's been 3 months. Is it a good time to affect marketing strategy? The answer is yes. And so it's expected that a number of firms, both local and international businesses operating in Ghana, need to rethink their marketing strategy. And so to go straight to the question, what are the issues with regards to pricing? At the moment, you agree with me that the conversation on all platforms is about, yes, we all have heard, yes, we all have seen that the dollar cedi issues with regards to the cedi appreciating, but when we go to buy our fuel, when we go to buy goods and services, we still don't see any reduction in the prices of these. So my focus is going to be on the firms. What should they do at this moment? I think the first thing for businesses to do is to be very transparent in their messages. They should communicate value. They should be very, very transparent in communicating value to customers. And then also let customers, in communicating this value to them, let them know that they are observing the exchange rate issues. And within the next 3 months, if the trend continues, they will then reduce prices. I don't think that businesses, especially Ghanaian local businesses, should jump into reducing prices because the exchange rate is reduced. Where I sit, I do know that a number of factors inform pricing. A number of people have actually said that, yes, when we see the dollar appreciating, businesses are quick to increase prices. So why is it that the dollar is depreciating and then we are not seeing the same speed at which they would increase prices? I heard Guta, so let's be fair to the business. I heard Guta speak, I think, last week, and they indicated that we should give them some time. They are not too sure whether the price will be, the value that is being communicated will continue. So let's look at it in that perspective.
Yeah, you talk about messaging concentrating on value. Why not about the pricing?
Yeah, so if you listen, I argue that price is a buildup of a number of factors and not just exchange rate. Yes, exchange rate volatilities is expected to influence the price of commodities, but you and I know it is not the only thing. So if it is not the only thing, so for example, Kinky, which most Ghanaians will buy, those of us in Accra, if exchange rate is going down, okay, how will it affect the cost of using Kinky or buying Kinky? Then you now will talk about, okay, it has to do with fuel, it has to do with maize being transported from one end to the other. So I think that, yes, businesses at the moment should be able, that's why I talked about transparency, should be able to come out to communicate what informed their pricing and let people know that, yes, they admit, they acknowledge that the dollar is depreciating, the cedi is appreciating, but at the moment, we all hope the government will be able to maintain this trend. And if government is able to maintain this trend, then we would see the impact after 6 months. Listening to the economics, they all acknowledge the fact that 3 months might be too early to say that certain impact be felt. Yes, please.
Yeah, and based on this uncertainty, what are the risks, seeing that we're in a volatile environment, what are the risks if businesses go ahead to reduce prices without doing due diligence?
Yes, so for any business, and this is why, for me, I would always argue for my marketing and marketers out there. It is good that businesses engage the marketing department or their marketing officers when they are setting pricing, because we have something we call the psychology of pricing. I give you an example of that. I may not mention the name of the brands involved. I'm sure we all know Gary Soakins. Gary Soakins elsewhere has been given a name called cassava flakes. And the same Gary, the same outcome, but the price, if you go to the shop nearby you, the price you pay for it, and if you go to that particular venue, the price you pay for it, there's variation. So clearly you can see that there's some psychology in pricing in there, which we expect that you should engage the marketers who will be able to guide you in terms of providing certain prices that the customers are willing and able to pay. When we talk of this pricing, sometimes it's about capacity. Those with capacity to produce more, they benefit from what is known from the economies of scale. And so because they produce more, they can afford to reduce the price. But others who are not able to produce, they don't have the capacity to produce more. They are not able to reduce pricing. So I do think that in the short term, as we look at the issues, businesses may be better off if they communicate value, and they should be very transparent in their communicating of value to their customers.
Yeah, one last question. What role does consumer perception play in shaping marketing during such economic shifts? And how can brands build trust and loyalty during uncertain times? Because, I mean, if you trust the product, you don't care how much you're paying for it that much.
Yeah, so it's good you talk about perception. So every business has these two decisions to make. The perception people have about you and the perceptions you wish people to have about you is anchored in positioning. So we call it the consumer-based positioning and management-based positioning. Many businesses expect that is the management-based positioning, expect that consumers should see them as they wish. Consumers to see them as they wish. So that's the perception. So now you will have to work in terms of how you relate, how you engage, the sort of experiences you give these people, that would make them appreciate, that will make them like you for who you are. So for example, we are discussing pricing. Over the last 2 days, from the political scene, when we monitor, we've heard some parties saying the prices of cement is going to go down, some parties saying the price of cement hasn't gone down. Now, if you're a cement business person, I do understand that there's a value chain, but I'm referring to the producers, okay? I don't want to mention brands, but let's say you are a company A that produces cement, and at the moment, the conversation is all about you having lower your prices because of this. I think it is time for them to come out to communicate,
right?
To sort of tell people that yes, we have acknowledged, or we all see the reduction in fuel, we all see the reduction in terms of our exchange rate.
We've got to go.
They should come out to complain. Yes, please.
Okay, we'll continue this conversation. I think it's very interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. Ike Abdulhamid. We'll certainly have this conversation next time. Thanks for watching The Marketplace. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com. Goodbye.